Hey friends, Scott Sullivan here, Discipleship Catalyst, Georgia Baptist Mission Board, and I am joined by the one and only Dallas White. Dallas, thanks for being here, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Listen, we have a special broadcast today, and really what we're doing is talking through what was the Go Georgia conference. And Dallas, there was nothing wrong with it. I mean, when we did our evaluation, every single evaluation came back awesome. We love it. We're planning to go again. But there have been some changes and one of those is a name change for us. So let me kick something to you here. The idea of what we did was Go Georgia was averaging about 1,000 people per year coming to this conference. We've added some state convention partner across the nation, even Puerto Rico, and with connecting with them and using some of this training for them, it allowed us to be able to partner and do this on a much larger scale. So what we've done is a name change. So we are now the Spark Conference. That is our statewide conference, but that comes from really a heart that began with you and Johnny Hunt. You want to give us a spiel about your heart of what started with Spark?
Yeah. Thrilled to see Spark living on. You know, Spark started several years ago, back in really 2016, leading up to 2017. I was serving at the time at First Baptist Church Woodstock and serving alongside in my opinion, one of the greatest pastors of our generation, and that's Pastor Johnny Hunt. You alluded to him earlier. And as he was traveling across the country, he was talking to pastors and church leaders about his role in making disciples, what he was personally doing. And that was a weekly thing for him. As busy as he was personally and passionately investing into other men. And so as he's talking out of the overflow of his heart, guys begin to write in to him and to me and ask us questions like, hey, can you send us your material? Can you help us with what we're trying to do at our church? And so, Scott, no lie, within a year, over 500 people, pastors, church leaders from across the country contacted us and said, can you help us? And so we're sending out stuff left and right, trying to help as much as we can. And in the midst of that, questions come back, and really it became a balancing act to some degree to just try to keep up with all the questions that were coming in and having a real heart to help these local church leaders. And so I sat down with Pastor Johnny one day. I said, hey, Pastor, maybe instead of us trying to correspond with all of these different people, what if we just create an opportunity where we bring folks here to Woodstock, spend a couple days with them. We'll share with them everything that we're learning. We'll introduce them to other people who have helped us in the process, and maybe sort of build a tribe around this idea of disciple making. And so we did. We started in 2017. We had a great time there at Woodstock in 2017. Went up to Hendersonville, Tennessee in 2018 at Long Hollow Baptist Church with Pastor Robbie Gallaty, a longtime friend and a real leader in the area of disciple making. And then this past year, we were at the North American Mission Board and hosted several hundred local church leaders there with some great leaders like over the past couple of years, Dr. Ravi Zacharias, H.B. Charles, Tom Rayner, Pastor Johnny, Eric Geiger, Robbie Gallaty. So just some incredible leaders that have spoken into the lives of literally now thousands of local church leaders. And with some changing in my life and in Pastor Johnny's life, transitions in both areas, we just sort of felt like the time of us leading Spark was coming to a close. And so when the opportunity presented itself for Spark to come under the leadership of the Georgia Baptist Mission Board, we felt like it was a match made in heaven. And so thrilled to kind of hand off the baton and really allow the team at the Mission Board and in our partner conventions to take this thing to the next level. So we're thrilled to death with the opportunity to do what we started with day one, which was we want to help local church leaders launch disciple-making movements. And we're believing that this new transition to Georgia Baptist Mission Board and our partner conventions is going to help even more local church leaders do just that. So we're fired up about it, excited to still be involved as well.
And we're excited as well, Dallas. And in the future, it looks similar. You know, where we're taking it is a total church equipping conference to create church health. but to multiply disciple makers in the local church, which also means globally. So, man, super excited to see this direction. And this conference this year is fully online. Now that's different, from what Spark was, from what Go Georgia was. Well, this year, because of where we are, I made the call about 4 weeks ago to go completely online. We're super excited about that. So what'll happen is the premiere will be August the 28th on that Friday. It'll kick off that morning. We'll give some times and all, but it'll be time release throughout the day, just like a normal conference. Folks will be able to jump into those. The beauty of this, number one, is it's not costing anybody anything. I mean, we're really pounding the pavement trying to get sponsors involved in this deal, and there's some details that are important about that. So what's going to happen is it'll happen on the 28th, the 29th. All of that content is going to be put on a landing page at about midnight Pacific time. And what'll happen is people can access, as long as you register by the 28th of August, they'll have 3 weeks of free access to that content for themselves, for their church, for their association. And it just being free and giving multiple options for people, we just think it's beautiful. Now,
and Scott, real quick, hit for the people listening in. They're not just getting the content from the conference, but we're doing the bonus content. Hit that real quick so people know.
Oh, great point. Great point, Dallas. So you've got the content that'll be rolled out that day, but we also have a whole nother section that we call bonus content. Right now, it's 9 different sessions that are not going to be included on the 28th. They're on this bonus section. So as long as you register by the 28th, you'll have access to all of that, the regular content, the bonus content, so you can pick and choose what you want to use or not. Now, here's a couple of the keynotes, Dallas, that we've got coming. First is Paul Chitwood. Dr. Chitwood is pre-recording, and he's going to be there. We're going to do a live Q&A with him. Robbie Gallaty is one of our speakers this year. And then Tyrone Barnett from Peace Baptist Church in Decatur, Georgia. Super excited to have these 3 men of God, not just doing ministry, not just get up there and provide the flash, but these guys are doing discipleship. They're making discipleship. They've done it for a long time at a really high level. So when they speak, those are the kind of guys. I sit on a piece of paper and I don't talk. I take notes. So That's really exciting. Tell us about some breakout sessions.
Yeah, I love that, Scott. And that's one thing Spark has always had, is it's had strong keynotes, and that's continuing, but it's also had some strong labs or breakouts. And man, this year, that's just exploding. There's more than ever this year for those that take part in the conference. And so we've got breakout sessions literally of all shapes and sizes. There's discipleship lanes, which would include like men's ministry, women's ministry, singles, groups of all different shapes and sizes. That's evangelism. It's music and worship. It's students, it's kids, next gen stuff, pastoral wellness, missions. I mean, it's really everything. It is a total church equipping event. And so we got a ton of breakouts in addition to those incredible keynotes. Plus, we just got word, and this is pretty exciting, that Mark Hall, our friend from Casting Crowns, is going to be doing a concert as part of the Spark Conference, which is pretty cool.
Sure enough. And a matter of fact, at the time that we are, announcing this, most people don't know that Tyrone Barnett's going to be there with us. So you guys are getting first glimpse of what's going on. And that's what we really want to do on this Facebook group, Dallas, when we set this up a couple of months back, was to be able to give a first peek at what's happening, some of the best, fresh information. So we talked about it going national. Let me tell you about our state convention partners. Most people that are in the regions that are intimately involved, they know who these are. But let me just share this with the general populace. We've got New England, Utah, Idaho, New York State, Pennsylvania, and South New Jersey, Michigan, and then we've also got Puerto Rico that's agreed to come in. They're one of our state convention, one of our partners, and they're going to be using this tool for their areas and giving it out the same way that we're doing. So we're not just reaching the state of Georgia. This is now national. So several ways to participate. Individual users, and I'll tell you this, the focus on August 28th really is the individual user. Most people are going to be at work or traveling or whatever, and most churches aren't going to host a conference at their church on a Friday. So the focus on that Friday is the individual user. They can view the sessions on their own. The associations can register by the 28th, and they can have that, and they can use it for live, face-to-face, all-day training if they want to do that at a church. Or they can give that to their churches for their association. Now, the key here is, as long as they register by the 28th, And we'll talk about some options to pay for longer term access in just a moment.
Yeah. And Scott, I think one good idea is for pastors out there, or discipleship pastors, or maybe you're a men's ministry leader, women's ministry leader. One of the things that you can do is there at your local church, you could host an event for your leaders. Now, it could be on the 28th, or it could be after the fact. That's the beauty of having access to all of this content. So whether you're hosting a one-day event there, whether you're hosting, like, we've got some associational leaders that are going to do bivocational leaders that they're hosting and training in the evenings over a few weeks, so that they can accommodate this training around their schedule. We've got people that are going to do it on Sunday nights over several weeks for leaders that are in the church. So the beauty of it is we're putting it in your hands, and we're saying, hey, as creative as you want to be with the dissemination of this information, you can run with it. And that's the beauty of this. So really, we're doing this to put the ball back in your court, because you know your context better than we do. And we think as long as we're giving you this info and this training, you're going to have everything you need to run and to equip those in your spheres of influence really, really well. It's going to be really well done. And so, Scott, one thing I want you to touch on real quickly is, what about somebody outside of those 6 state conventions? What about somebody that's across country? One of our listeners has a friend or a family member, somewhere across the country, in Texas maybe, or Tennessee. Can they tune in that day? What does that look like?
Absolutely. We've already been contacted by a guy in England, a guy in Mexico. We've had several from Asia that have contacted us and have said, hey, what about us? And we're like, man, free is free. And when we say it's free and we're going nationwide, it really is free. If you got internet access, then you can get this. So here's what that looks like. Pre-register by the 28th, then you'll get access to all of the content from the 29th through September the 22nd. So you're looking at about 3 weeks, and you can use it in there however you'd like. Individual user, church, association. Now, some of the associations have contacted us, said, we're going to use this, but it's going to be after. So let me give you some different content details. And in Dallas, you can tell us about what the cost is if they want to purchase that for long term. So we got the breakout sessions. They're going to be pre-recorded. The keynotes are going to be pre-recorded. But I do want you to know this. One thing that's really important to me is Dallas, several of us have been on these online conferences. We've been evaluating what's working, what's not working. It's really important to us that there be some type of live component where you can send a question in. We know what you're thinking. Praise the Lord, that sort of thing. So at the keynotes, at the end of that keynote, we're going to come live chat, and we'll have, say, Robbie Gallaty. He'll be on there with me, and we'll do some chat. So when you put a question in there, I'm going to ask Robbie that question, and we're going to do live Q&A that way. We're also working on the ability to have live chat just in the breakouts, where as that guy's going, you can ask the questions in the chat. Now, it's pre-recorded, but that leader will be in there and he'll be interacting with you as well. So now, as we get ready to close this thing out, Dallas, tell us about those who would just say, you know what, I don't want to be squeezed into 3 weeks. The cost isn't very much. How can I just get this and have access for the next 12 months?
Yeah, super simple. So individual access, you're a guy like me, you just like to keep learning, keep growing, $10. You got 12 months worth of access, get it anytime you need it, right? If you're a church leader and you say, I want to access it for my church so I can send these videos out, give them to Sunday school leaders, small group leaders, men's ministry leaders, $29 gets you a whole year, all the content. Now remember, the conference itself is free. And for 3 weeks, if you pre-register before the 28th, for 3 weeks, all the content is free. So we're giving this stuff to you. This is just after the fact if you need to access these resources to put them in the hands of some of your leaders. And then as an association, we're getting a lot of traction with this one, Scott. As an association, associational leader, you might purchase it for all the churches in your association, $99. What a gift to give to all of the churches in your association if you're an associational leader. So we're really excited about Spark. We think it's going to be a lot of fun this year, a much larger audience, but still retaining that kind of intimate, personal, dynamic aspect that Spark has been known for. So we're really looking forward to it. Scott, tell them why they need to be there.
Man, here's the deal. We're going to close this out. We appreciate y'all trying, looking in, getting the information from us. And I'll just give you my heart for this. When you talk about Spark and getting training, we don't want you to talk about, hey, what Scott did or Dallas. We want you to celebrate that pastor who's getting this information and have it in this local church. We want you to talk about your association missionary and let them be the hero who's purchasing it for $99 and giving it to every church. We are interested in this conference, number one, that it be free and it gets to the people who need it, the grassroots, the people who are teaching and leading in the pew in the local church. And we want it to get out to as many people as possible. And Dallas, I'll be honest with you, we've been averaging about 1,000 at this face-to-face event that we've been doing. And I really anticipate we're going to double, triple, quadruple, or much more than that when we get to engagement. So folks, listen, the website is thesparkconference.com. thesparkconference.com. Go there, you can get the information. There's going to be a button up there. It's early notification. So as soon as registration comes live in a few days, it'll send you an email. You'll know, you'll be able to register. Other information, when we have some breaking news, you'll be the first one to know about. So go there today, check it out. Dallas, thanks for being on the broadcast. And we, as we always do, we love the local church and we love disciple makers, and anything that we can do to help you, contact us. Thanks.